Good morning, everyone. My name is Muhammad Hamza and today I'm discussing partnering for inclusion, family and community engagement in Australian early childhood education and care. In Australia, we don't do early learning alone. It is a journey together with teachers, families, and communities supporting each other. Together, children feel part of everything, they learn successfully, and they develop confidently. Early learning is a shared journey where educators, families, and communities work together to nurture children's inclusion, learning, and lifelong success. During this presentation, I will describe how partnership working ensures children are included, they learn, and they develop. I will also discuss some of the strategies and actual examples and policies in Australia that ensure partnerships are effective. Moving on to the next slide. Why partnerships matter. Partnerships are extremely significant for children in Australia. The Early Years Learning Framework, or EYLF, says partnerships are essential for helping all children feel included. Let's look at an example. Amira is 4 years old and she speaks Arabic at home. Her teachers work with her family and local Arabic speaking community groups. This teamwork helps her learn English faster, keep her home language, and in the meantime, she also feels safe and she is respected in the service. Researchers in Australia show that when families and educators work together, children do better in their thinking, social skills, and emotions. There are also benefits to this. By this method, the children can learn English better and faster, and they can also maintain their home language and feel safe in the multicultural. Now, in early childhood education, what are the collaborating partnerships? A collaborative partnership means working together in a respectful and open way. There are three main parts to do this. First, we respect each other families and their values and their culture. Secondly, we keep the communication open. This can be through face-to-face talks, it can be online, or maybe the platforms like Story Park or like some regular newsletters. And on the third, we share the responsibility for the child's well-being. It is between educators and the families. In Australia, the National Quality Standard says in the Quality Area 6 that building strong partnerships with families and communities is very important. Services that do this well can reach exceeding or even excellent ratings. Moving on to the fourth slide. Vygotsky's socio-cultural theory. It helps us understand why family and community partnerships are important. First, a child's home culture shapes how they learn and they see the world. This is why knowing the family background really matters. Secondly, Vygotsky talks about the zone of the proximal development. This means what a child can do with guidance from someone who is more experienced. Third, educators can give scaffolding. Scaffolding. This means giving the right support and prompts to help the child move to the next step. At last, cultural competences are very important. When educators and families work together, they build a shared identity for the child that respects both home, community culture, and even the Religion. What are the Australian policy contexts? In Australia, there are EYLF V2.0, which was imposed from 2022, and then there is NQF, which is the legislative foundation, and then there is UNCIC, which is the Australia's commitment for inclusive culturally respective education, and then there is closing the gap. Let's talk about this. In Australia, our early childhood policies strongly support family and community partnerships. The Early Years Learning Framework version 2.0 from 2022 has key principles. These are the partnerships, high expectations and equity, and their respect for the diversity. The National Quality Framework is the law that sets the standards for quality in early childhood education and care. Australia has also signed the United Nations Conventions on the Rights of the Child. This means we promise to give all children education that is inclusive and respects their culture. Finally, closing the gap, this plan focuses on improving access for Aboriginals and Torres Strait Islander children to culturally safe in early learning services. Impact on inclusion. The partnerships between families, communities, and educators can help remove barriers for children. They can reduce language isolation, help families find services, and break the stigma around disability. An Australian example is in Sydney, where early childhood services conduct bilingual storytime sessions. Community volunteers they read stories in English, Mandarin, Arabic, Urdu, and also in other languages. This gives children a sense of belonging, accommodates their home language, and develops their English alongside. What are the supporting learning and the development? Partnerships also assist children's learning and development. A method is to synchronize the literacy themes at home and the early childhood services, whereby children read the same concepts in both locations. Including Aboriginal elders to tell stories is another effective approach. It assists children in developing oral language skills and acquiring an understanding of the culture. Families can also aid numeracy in daily activities such as gardening or cooking. Teachers and family members can post information with technology like Storypark or Kindle so that everybody can observe the child's development in real time. Now, what are the benefits for the families? Partnerships have also numerous advantages for families. They make parents and carers feel appreciated and part of their child's learning experience. Families are also able to receive access to healthcare, community services, and other beneficial resources. Sorry, and other beneficial resources. The idea and strategy sharing with teachers, parents can develop stronger parenting strategies. In country regions of Australia, such alliances are particularly vital. They assist in diminishing solitude to joining the families with networks in support groups at a local level. Now, what will be the benefit for communities? Partnerships are also advantageous to the entire community. They assist in developing more robust local networks among schools, libraries, and cultural organizations. Communities can pool resources such as meeting rooms, books, or even volunteers. Early childhood centers tend to become gathering places where individuals converge, share, and assist one another. These connections encourage intercultural exchange and help reduce social divisions. And it also reduces social fragmentation and keeps everyone together. Now, what could be the challenges in practice? Let's talk about them. Although there are numerous advantages of partnerships, they also pose difficulties. Sometimes the language barrier makes it difficult to communicate with one another. Scheduling can be a problem, especially for shift workers or parents who work away from home. There may be also varying expectations, as families may have varying cultural perceptions about education. We can resolve these issues with inclusive meeting schedules, materials translated in their languages, and cultural competency training for the teachers. Now, what would be the recommendations? Following are some suggestions to strengthen the partnerships. For example, we can organize family learning sessions with interpreters and cultural activities so everyone feels included. And having bilingual communications, it is basically a channel that ensures that all families receive all the important messages and no one is left behind. Forming parent advisory committees, it provides a voice to the families, especially in decision making. We can also collaborate with local councils, libraries, and other agencies to provide more support. Lastly, integrating reconciliation action plans into our practice demonstrates respect and commitment to the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities. Let us consider a real world example: the Good Start Early Learning Multicultural Festival. This activity featured cultural dance, music, and the food stalls. Storytelling was done in multiple languages, and community services booths were available. Were available. It was effective because it adhered to the EYLF principle of partnerships and it addressed NQ's quality area 6. It also supported Australia's goals for multiculturalism and reconciliation. This shows how partnerships can bring people together, celebrate diversity, and making services more inclusive. Now, the impact of strong partnerships is clear. Children gain pride in their heritage. Families also feels included and respected. Communities build stronger cultural understanding. Partnerships are not just an extra part of early childhood education. They are the foundation for every child's right to belong, learn, and thrive. These are the references, these are the books, reports, and the websites I used to prepare this presentation. They include Australian government and education sources and research about early childhood partnerships. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. And if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. Once again, thank you and have a nice day. Bye.